Hi everyone, Opheana Sikaal here, and today we want to talk to you guys about something that is very exciting for us and has been extremely inspiring for us as one of our top Ascension tools, and it's the Ascension Consciousness Scale. Now this Ascension Consciousness Scale runs from 0 to 1,000, and that runs in frequency. And this scale is divided into 7 categories. And today we want to go through all of these categories with you guys. And the reason is this scale has been so instrumental for us, and it helps us every single day as a roadmap to 3rd density and 4th density. It helps us navigate through the illusions that are here. It helps us to know things about situations and people and events to help us to be clear about our choices. And so today we are going to go through this very thoroughly with you guys, and in a way that it makes sense to you guys, so you can start to feel, well, where am I on this scale? And this scale is not meant to be, a ranking of, the higher the better, the more frequency you've anchored, the better. It's merely meant to address, all right, well, where am I generally? Where are other people around me? Are there people around me perhaps that maybe don't really fit with me anymore? Should I maybe look at, being in different situations or in different events or with different people around me? How is it all addressed in connection to my mission? And this scale can help with every single one of them. And we'll give you lots of ideas. We'll give you lots of tips on how to use this. We're very, very excited about that.
It's a beautiful tool just in everyday life for using discernment, as Sikaal said, for feeling deeper into situations, as we've spoken about many times, as empaths. The sensitivities to love, to want to be in group with others, it can be so strong, and the magnetic pull drives more powerfully than the discernment that you could get if that magnetic pull wasn't there. So, for instance, as Sikaal said, a social situation, the magnetic pull is there due to ties to people, because people there, have been in your life in whatever way, and you feel this pull, but there's something in you that's like, I'm not 100% sure if it's in the highest for me to go. This scale is an amazing tool for these type of situations. You can really look at, okay, so what's the general sort of level of consciousness in the group? So you can go along to the group if it's within your bandwidth. It's just the reality of where we are at now, and it's a choice as well. So, there are some people that say, you can go anywhere and you can increase the frequency of the place no matter where you go. Well, if that's your journey, you go ahead and do that. It's not where I want to spend my time. I don't want to spend my time going to a very low frequency situation and increasing the energy there. I want to increase the energy of Mother Earth and of humanity in general. I want to be doing my mission. I do not want to be distracted by going to situations that are in a different bandwidth frequency to me, and then having to lift again later because the energy, it took energy. My focus was there instead of on my mission. And maybe it is some people's mission to do that. It's not where we want to spend our time, and maybe it's not where you want to spend your time. That's why this is a key tool to do some testing of, okay, so where am I and where do I need to spend my time and focus?
And the universe, everything about the universe, and you guys know this, is energy, is frequency. So it makes sense that as you move on your journey, you might be attracted to different foods. Why? Because the frequency of certain foods is higher than of other foods. The same goes for people, places, events, all choices you make. And so this scale can really help you first of all, to know, okay, well, where am I in these categories? So what are the things that I'm moving through? What are the themes I'm moving through? What are the areas that I have growth to move through? So that's going to be discussed. But also, where are those around me? How about the job I'm at, or the business I'm working with? Or, if you want to go to certain social occasions, is it going to fit you or not? And it depends on your mission. Like Opheana said, if your mission is to uplift frequencies everywhere, I mean, some of you will have that mission. Others are here to do what you're meant to do. So you want to do that in a way that you're not always cleaning up after yourself because you haven't felt into the choices. So you just simply go everywhere and then have to clean up again and recoup from being in a low frequency situation, because the higher you get in your frequency, often more of your of your clair senses open up, which means you're more sensitive to other people's thoughts and energies and emotions, which means that if they're not on par with you in frequency wise, it's not going to sit very well. And then you feel like you have to get back to yourself. So if you always feel like you're getting back to yourself and recouping from certain situations, it might not be the most efficient and fun and best way for you to do it. So this scale can be a tool to help you in these situations. Now, how do you know what frequency you're at on the scale and how are other events? You can use your intuition, you can use muscle testing, you can use a pendulum, you can use any tool that you would normally use to get guidance on that. It's simply getting guidance, and you can use some of the tools that you always would. Do a reading on it, do a tarot reading on it, whatever you feel, what category is the situation in. And then if it's not resonant with you, we would say, don't engage. But it's up to you, and if you have a choice, let's say you want to get a different job. If you're in a certain type of job, you can check, well, where is the frequency most resonant with myself? If you want to go to certain events, where is the frequency most resonant with myself? Or where will I feel uplifted after doing that, etc. So you can use it for literally everything.
It's really been such a beautiful support for us. In the beginning, there were some times when we were using it where we would go to a large group situation, for instance, like a festival, or really large groups of people, and it was an interesting area to witness the clairsenses working over time, because with such big groups, there's a matrix that is created. There is literally a group pillar that is grounded in that space. And there is a huge range often of frequencies of people. So there can be some really, really high frequency people and some lower frequency people. And so it's this big stretch. However, there's usually a reasonable sort of bandwidth in the middle there that you can feel the thickness of where the energy is at. And we really witnessed especially myself, because it would key into old patterns that I had very much in the past. And so I could empath what a lot of the people were feeling at these situations, and it would just run through me. It would be running through me constantly. And so is that how I want to stream energy through my system? As a vessel for my mission, as a vessel for assisting the earth, as a starseed here on a mission to lift the frequency. Do I want to be streaming a certain bandwidth that is lower than my own bandwidth? So really it's about, where do you want to focus? Because to be honest, most people who are spiritually driven are stuck. It's just where it's at. And so we're bringing through tools at the moment. We go into meditation, tools come through, we share it. That's what we want to do. And these tools are just beautiful ways to reach through the blindfold that we have on in 3D, and so it creates a choice. You can choose more clearly with your intuition, with the guidance from the scale and all of your other tools. Start to choose more clearly what you're going to do in your everyday, not just flowing into situations and then energy leak here or energy leak there, having to clean your energy field up afterwards. It takes a lot of energy to come back to your center and then get back on to mission, to clarity, to the precise, clear, crystal clear clarity within your mission. We're at that point of the razor's edge, and as you get off course, it's getting more and more uncomfortable. So let's get into it and feel into the 0 to 250 range.
And just want to add, as we describe each of these categories, on screen we'll show you guys them as well. Now, this scale is available on the Divine Art website, divineart.com.au, as a PDF. You can download it, you can use it for whatever you want, you can spread it out and share it with people. It's also viewable online, so you click a link and it's just viewable online if that's what you want for on your phone or whatever. Now, each of these categories, as we describe the points, you'll get a feel for this energy bandwidth, and you'll get to know, I know situations and people and events that sit here. And you'll also get a feeling of, that's where this describes my life at the moment, or this is where I feel I'm moving towards. You'll really get a clear sense as we describe these categories. So we want to make sure that it's not boring for you guys, but this is very exciting stuff, because you got to let your presence bring to you the potential that it has for each of these categories in your life. Seriously, it has helped us so much to see through things, because with these eyes and these ears, you cannot always get the energetics behind things. You might feel something feels different than what I'm seeing. Everything looks fine, but something's not right, or I always feel tired after I leave those particular people or events, or this job, something's not sitting right. There's some hidden energies. I'm not sure what's going on. And this particular scale is going to help you guys. And it's up to you and your guidance if you want to use it, yay or nay. We're offering it to you guys. We're presenting it to you guys in a way that hopefully gets across how much it does for us, because we only want to offer to you guys what helps in our daily lives. Okay, because we're Starseeds here as well, doing our mission. So the first category, 0 to 250. Want to start on that?
So highly dominated by 3D, by the third dimension, third density. So, just really in that beta brainwave, really just base level, primitive, nearly survival mechanism, just really in the lower mind, personality controlled pretty much 100% by the ego, by fears, by greed, by being a victim, having the fight and flight and struggling, domination, control, blaming others for their hardships and blaming the world for all of the situations in their life, not taking responsibility. There's a lot of me energy. And things like, money, power, personal success, fame, sex, safety on all levels. It's about working your way up the ladder, being better than the other, having more than the other, or being afraid and trying to not be afraid. And so it's all about, often you'll find a lot of young souls that still have a lot of spiritual lessons to learn in this bandwidth. They're moving here, they're moving through these categories. It's very, very third density, this first category. We often find as well that there's not a lot of, awareness or belief in spirituality or spirit. And if there is, by what people are saying, it's often a mask, and it's more sort of knowledge, or you could have religious backgrounds, but based more on that fear, that feeling where they're very dogmatic, and it's a fear-based sort of faith, the one. And so so around the 150, you see a lot of people at that 150, and I'm just going to spill it all, I'm going to be honest. The 150s are often the older generation, the controlling, really old-fashioned ways. This is how the world is run. Just do as you're told, respect your elders. This is just, what you need to do to, support us and the situation, all of that type of thing. So sort of 150 to 250, a lot of the old generation that haven't connected in with the fourth density energy that's pouring into the field, and they are fighting it, you know.
And as we say this, remember, none of this is a judgment.
It's just where it's at.
This is just how it is, where it's at. It's energy frequency. There's not a judgment on lower or higher. There's a preference to where we want to reside, yes, for sure. But that's logical, because we want to reside where there's energetic match and energetic frequency for us, because that's where we're meant to be. And yes, obviously, there's all sorts of storylines around that. You know, another very important one in this first category, 0 to 250, is a lot of energy vampires reside here. People who don't hold their own pillar, who don't know about connecting to source and earth, so plug into other people. And so offer things, you know, like service or money to get energy back, or just simply plug in because they feel like a victim and can't do it themselves. So this first category is a lot of young souls who are learning a lot of third density, 3D lessons.
Do you want to explain the what you mean by young? It's basically they've moved from second density to third density. So
basically, as a soul, you grow in consciousness simply by learning more lessons, getting more experience. You take that experience to your next life and your next life. So young souls are ones starting more on the earlier part of that journey. So they've still got to move through a lot of basic, you know, survival and ego and lower emotional type lessons. And
as everybody has.
So it's not better or worse, it's just a different part of the journey. And so you guys know what we're talking about when we're discussing it. You guys tuned into this, understand what we're talking about. So see it from that light.
And so second density, you'll find the animal kingdom in, and so you move from second density into third density, and so it's like kindergarten, you know, in that 0 to 250 I sort of see as that, and so it's easy to have an understanding, have even a place of forgiveness for, or a compassion for the 0 to 250, that's just where they're at and they're doing the best that they can. However, if you put your finger too close, they might bite, or, well, you know, like it's just an easier way to understand it at times, that they're in survival mode and it's okay, you know, and the courage isn't built yet to move past the next phase into faith. So, physical and emotional, mental disease, because they're stuck. So I must say as well, even older souls can be stuck in this if they're really just, you know, not moving through. So it can be young souls sort of moving into third density, but it can be older ones that are stuck as well.
Gotten stuck sick in the success or the money or the sex or the control or the ego of third density. It's a strong pull, and if you go deeply down the rabbit hole, you can get stuck there. So even as a sixth density soul or a fifth density soul or whatever, you can get stuck. And this is one of the risks coming down as a starseed, is that you get stuck in this matrix. And 0 to 250 is the representation of the lower energies of that matrix.
Okay, so we'll move on to 250 to 450 now. So it's still very much dominated by the 3D thinking, acting, and being. It's just obviously that level up. A little bit more consciousness is there of themselves, a little bit more witnessing, you know, a touch of the responsibility. This is sort of 250 to 350. There's still a blame of out there in the world, but they're starting to witness and have an awareness. The lower mind is still fully in control. What we mean by that is, you know, the personality, the not really connecting in with that higher mind where you can get more clarity, more guidance, truth, universal truth, not truth of what society says.
And very gently you'll start to notice there's an interest, a little bit of an awareness, a little bit of knowledge about spirituality and spirit. So it starts to sort of siphon in a little bit. You'll start seeing that a little bit more in this category.
And that can be in different areas. That can be a form of art or religion or nature. there's different types of spirituality. So it doesn't mean they have to be, you know, in the new agey, metaphysical, esoteric type spirituality. They can have their own type of fate that they are, you know, expanding themselves with.
And where in the first category there were lots of issues with physical, mental, emotional disease, in this category there's a little bit more understanding about the connection between those things, the connection between emotions and disease and how you think and things like that. That starts to emerge here, and more knowledge starts to be present and more ideas around that. So that starts to really blossom a little and open up a little bit here.
And the service to self that we've written there, that's basically selfishness. And, you know, if you've read The Law of One, and we love The Law of One, it really keys into universal truth. Service to self really holds you back. And that's that survival type stuff. And that's that, you know, the ego trying to keep you safe, trying to make sure that you get what your needs are rather than looking to the whole. So, you know, it's not about being a martyr where you overgive yourself, sacrifice, but it's about coming more into your mission. And so the 250 to 450 is still really about more survival. They're not really ready to give up their self needs to the point where it can actually take from others. So it's about getting onto mission path so that you can expand to service to others, but it also serves you at the same time.
Now, another one is that the energetic vampires we spoke of in the first category, they start becoming a little bit aware of their behavior, a little bit, and of their emotional entanglement. So there's a little bit of an awareness of, you know, of what they're doing without sort of really fully fixing it yet, but really starting to be a little bit aware. So there's that next level of frequency of consciousness, of awareness, where more spirit comes in. You've got to remember as well, as we move up the categories, more of spirit is coming in. Love and light quotients increase, and we'll be discussing all of those in the next sessions within this series. But for now, it's good to realize that as we move through the categories, more and more and more spirit can be held in this vessel. So in the earlier categories, spirit can hardly get in at all because it's so much about personality and ego. And as that opens up and dissolves, more and more of spirit can come in. And this is where, you know, the higher abilities start coming in, more oversight of what's really happening energetically, more group consciousness energy, service to others start to come in, and all that type of stuff.
Joy, just higher frequency in general, more harmony.
And the realization of multidimensionality and all that. So that really increases across the 7 categories. So this is category 2 of the 7. You know, one of the last one is a drive for self-healing emerges and starts to create a little bit more growth in consciousness. So that drive to become a little bit more and to look in within at what needs to be healed.
So the moving through into the 450s, you're starting to master taking responsibility, you know, you're working at it, you're really, you know, there's counseling, there's healing, there's awareness around how you talk, how you speak, how you communicate to others, how you're treated in the world, it just a general awareness. And so, as we've said, you know, the 5D, 4D, or fourth density as we call it, awareness, really kicks in to be able to get you to, and again, I want to say that it's not always spirituality. It can be the deep connection to nature just opens you up.
You know, which in its end is just the definition of spirituality, but everything where spirit comes into your life more deeply, if you can see that as part of the spiritual world and spirituality, then it merely becomes about definitions. It's about you opening up to more of spirit.
Because dancing, you can bring your spirit in, you know, doing art, doing anything with the creative
with
flow,
plants
energy moving through you. That is spirit being able to move through the system. More awareness around freedom in life. This starts to become really a much deeper focus, because the realization of, okay, so I'm not a slave, I have choices, where do I want to be in the world, all of that type of thing. There's still the pull with 3D to succeed and to do well and to have a mastery in areas of 3D, and so there's still that drive to do that, and that needs to happen. That needs to have a completion phase, and that's when it sort of gets to that 550, as we've said in other videos. 550, have we said that in other videos?
We have.
So
one of them is the Guru
Guru
Complex.
Complex. We may not have mentioned the numbers, but the Guru Complex is 550. 550. Oh my goodness. So many people are stuck.
Yeah. It's a big number.
Can't get past the 550, you know, like so many high level, celebrities, spiritual
gurus,
teachers,
spiritual teachers, masters in their art, mastery in anything.
Brilliant at what
Business
they do.
mastery, physical body mastery, anything.
Mastery. 550 ceiling. So why are they stuck at 550? Because they've got a mastery and they know it. It feels right.
It's become part of who they are.
It's their identity.
Their image, their identity.
That's the main key, is identity.
So one of the big things in this category, 450 to 550, is also that you're going to be anchoring more love. You know, you're going to feel more love in your heart. Your heart starts to open up to other people, to animals, to things around you, to spirits, to Gaia. So you start to anchor more love. Your love quotient grows, and that's the order in which it generally goes. And then later on, you start embodying more wisdom. Your light grows. Your masculine energy within that grows. So that's something that you'll notice within this particular category as well.
In the 450 to 550, there's a lot of knowledge that is attained, working towards that mastery level in areas. And it really is knowledge more so at this level than wisdom. Wisdom is where you've actually anchored the teachings that you've, say, read in a book, or you've anchored universal wisdom and teachings into your soul, into this reality. So that's wisdom. And so at the 450 to 550, it's more attaining knowledge, a lot of, taking in from outside, from the external world, to learn, to grow, to master. And a lot of people do become masters at that 550 range. And so this is the growth into that, and really grounding a mastery. And it doesn't have to look like a genius level mastery, or extremely wealthy or extremely famous or anything extreme. It's literally a mastery. It could be a mastery in parenting, a mastery in gardening, a mastery in art, a mastery of an understanding, a mastery of intelligence, anything like that. That's the sort of mastery we're talking about.
Which then drives a connection to your self-image.
Yes, identity.
To your identity. That's the mastery you're looking for. And in this category, you're going to also see the inevitable drive for self-healing. A lot of you listening will either be in or have moved through. The drive for wanting to heal your physical body, wanting to deal with your old emotions that are stuck, with your negative thinking, your negative belief systems. That drive becomes very strong here. You put a lot of effort into starting to change this. Why? Because that helps you to move through this consciousness level.
And so the clair senses are activating more at this level. You start to have that deeper connection to spirit with any kind of faith that you're into, and the connection to Mother Earth. You are more grounded in your pillar, into all of your chakras are starting to get to a level of mastery as well. It doesn't mean that there's not blockages and dynamics and themes that still need to be healed within them, because that's an ongoing situation. But it's kind of like you're taking a lot off the top of these, a lot of the thickness that has been acquired over the 0 to 450 phase, the trauma from childhood, all the different areas, even past life stuff, is being dealt with. And And so, as we said, the mastery of status in life is attained at 550. That's the level that we see it at. And the attachment to identity in relation to this mastery is so strong for most people when they reach this, that's where they stay and they stay. And so it's about really looking into how to break through into the next level, and it's usually breaking through, breaking down, opening up. What is this identity? Who am I? Am I this thing that I'm a master at? No, you're not. That's not who you are. That is not the being that you are. The being that you are is so much more than just this mastery. And it's also the judgment around how others see you when you are a master, and trying to hold on to that as strongly as possible. That needs to be let go of to be able to break through this threshold.
It's that mastery that Opheana is discussing is very, very driven by the third density 3D model of success, education,
even as a spiritual being, yeah.
Even as a spiritual being, education, work, whatever, become someone, become something. And then once you've attained it to a degree that you're happy with, or that others see you in a certain light and it suits you because it maybe even gives you energy because you got status, or you are someone or very good at something, even if it's small things. Like you're very fast at even something like, I'm very fast and good at organizing the dishes, or I'm very good with bookkeeping, or I am the best lawn maintenance expert in the world. Whatever it is, we're just saying some things. But where you get attached to an identity, best-selling book, and it goes all the way to millionaires, billionaires who have amazing businesses and books and talk shows and whatever, because 550 is the number one area where people get stuck. Why? Because third density matrix and the belief system puts them on a pedestal to a degree, or the people have done that themselves. They've fought hard to get there through all of these lower levels, and finally they see no need to change that. In fact, often the blinders are on. A lot of people in the guru complex do not know they're there, nor will they admit they're there, because they're happy, they're comfortable, or they at least have somewhere where they feel their ego feels they're okay. And their ego knows, this is who I am. And that's why this next category we're going to be discussing, or just one more thing I want to say, is in this category as well, you're interested in balancing your masculine and feminine energies, and understanding that as a male you have both male and masculine and feminine energies, and as a female you have masculine and feminine energies. And the idea is to bring those into balance. It doesn't have to be a perfect 50-50 balance, but as a male embodying both and as a female embodying both in your empowerment.
It's the doing and the being. It's the masculine is the focused energy, the business, the moving forward. The feminine is the holding space, the nurturing, the being. The being is literally like the queen bee, the queen ant, just holds space. And then there's the doing, the doing, the doing. So it's really finding that balance between the two within yourself, so that you can find that divine union and really allow more of your presence to come through because of that too, because your presence loves the harmony, the high frequency of that balance together.
And the interest in that, the spark to learn more about that, to embody that more, starts here.
Yeah.
So this next category is the category where, we can sum it all up, I think, very clearly. This is where it's like shattering glass, shattering your glass house, breaking, having your identity shattered, smashed. Everything, his reputation is taken away. You make clearly, or you make apparently, that's the better word, wrong decisions that lead to all sorts of things.
Someone leaves you and you're like, who am I without this person?
Or you have a physical body ailment that manifests itself. Why? Because it forces you to let go of a path that you haven't been listening to Spirit. Spirit saying, no, gently go this way. And you haven't been listening. So this is where, the rocks become the boulders, become the mountains that start smashing up a route that you and your ego have not been willing to deviate from. That happens here, 550 to 600. This is the breaking through the guru complex layer.
Yeah.
And frankly, it's really rough. And it's hard for a lot of people. They'd rather stay in their guru complex where their ego and personality feel safe, rather than move into this next layer where a whole new world awaits.
Yeah, and I just want to add, and we don't have this in the scale, but it's just come through, a lot of the younger generation don't need to do this as much. There's a different frequency, and I'm talking, you know, kids sort of into the 20s at this stage. They don't have that level of attachment in society as much, identity-wise, because they're bringing through the new frequencies, and so they can already be a master as a child, and then they bring it through, and they're flowing into their own kind of journeys. You know, a lot of them are being molded into the 3D world, and so those ones will struggle a lot with trying to find, who am I? Am I this job? Am I this education? Who my parents say that I'm this. I feel like I'm this. Where am I in all of this? And so that's more the breakthrough that's going to have to happen with them, because they already have so much of a, you know, as kids are being born in this world, they're becoming through in more higher and higher frequency, and then the environment that they're in, of course, whether their spark gets dampened with the, you know, the environment they're brought up in. However, these ones may not have to bash their head up against this as much. And so, you know, I really want to talk about the humble people who get stuck at this level as well, because
very important.
Because that's a mastery as well, you know. Oh, you know, that's not me. No, I hold myself in my center, and I just follow my path. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
Dedicated to the spiritual path of following a guru or a leader.
Stuck. It is rampant. Like, it is just unbelievable how so many people, and I'm going to be intense because I so want this for people. I so want this, and it's so easy. Or not easy. Again, it's simple. It's not easy. It's so simple. It's so simple. It's just letting go again.
Yeah.
It's letting go, and you get so much more freedom when you let go. Who cares what people think of you? Get on your path. But I'm on my path. Are you really on your path? You know, are you really, really on your path? Because it can feel like it can look like it, but that can be the guru complex mastery as well. And so really looking at, am I breaking through enough? Yeah.
Exactly, because it's a little bit in disguise, that one, because the mastery is being the faithful to your meditation, to a guru, in service to others, to the world, and being, you know, humble and little, and being, that's your mastery, disguised mastery, that role, you know, that's where people get stuck at that 550, because that's who they are. A lot of humble spiritual people next to teachers and healers and people that write big books and all of it. It's all looks different, but it's the same. It's an attachment to an identity.
Yes.
And when the drive from spirit, because it has to happen, for freedom and healing kicks in, that's either going to be self-chosen or forced upon by spirit, because your spirit knows the roadmap.
Either through sickness, through
freedom
issues,
and healing
money,
is what you're looking for here. Breaking open of everything by your choice or by spirit's choice, because it has to happen.
Hell.
It's super scary, and you can feel the dark nights of the soul, and everything can feel like you're never going to recover. You've lost everything. You've lost your partner. Everything is gone. You're sick, whatever. You've lost your job. You've lost your portfolio of houses because the market breaks or the bank has denied you, whatever. It's all part of this.
Yeah.
And if you choose this yourself, simply now by knowing about it, you're going to have less of a rocky ride, than if you let spirit force it upon you.
Yes.
Because guess what? You chose this.
Yeah.
You are your spirit. So whether you listen or not, it's going to happen.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's why we're so intense about this part, because we know within the whole scale, this is the mid category where a lot of people get stuck, and they don't even know they're stuck.
Majority of
they
people.
don't even know they're stuck.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing, you know.
Yep.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, I just really, it's such a deep pattern to not feel pain. It's such a, do whatever it takes to not feel pain. Do whatever it takes to follow a path that you thought you needed to follow, because that's the highest path. What if it's not? What if you're blocked because you're following along a way where you've got this goal of the goal at the top of the mountain, and you're like, that's it, I've got my sights on that, that's all there is to it, I'm doing it. What if that's holding you right where you're at, and you need to let go and break that down and let your spirit now tell you what's the goal? Now tell you a spirit-driven goal, a spirit-driven mission, a spirit-driven path. What if this focused blinders on, this is who I am, this is how I do it, it's successful, I've got all these people outside of me telling me, so wonderful, you're so wonderful, wow, we're gonna all buy your book, we're going to do this, you're brilliant, da-da-da. Crapola, it's time to break through that, because that's why you're feeling stuck.
Yeah.
You're feeling stuck because you're like, but the outside world says I'm okay. So obviously there's something going on, or keep on, because the outside world, the external world is telling me to keep going on this. Well, it's in here, always in here, not out there, always in here. Again, listen to yourself. Take in what we're saying, filter it. It's always here. It's not the external world telling you. The external world is 3D. Sorry to say, it's not telling you the truth.
And one thing to add on to that, one thing that will be apparent on everyone's spirit path is change.
Change.
So if things are the same, and even though you feel that's what you're here to do, this is your success, so you'll just keep on doing the same thing, but deep down inside you know something's not right. You're in the guru complex.
Yes.
You're in it.
Yes.
You're in it. And it also goes the other way, being too humble and nothing is changing.
Holding yourself back.
Holding yourself back in a humble, well, this is just who I am. This is my life.
I just serve others to do.
You know, a spirit-driven path is filled with change. You're on the rapids and everything is always moving and changing and fluxing, and you're always going to get new impulses to move through. And it doesn't mean change needs to be searched out, or change needs to be traumatic or thought of as, oh wow, change, that's the only good thing, change. No. However, it is what we see with all of these people we are working with and all of these people we're connecting with. That change from a spiritual driven path, especially in these times of ascension, is the norm. Yeah. So if things are always the same and you're doing things the same, and then you're highly likely caught up in the guru complex. So if you don't choose, spirit will choose for you. And that's fine, because that's a route as well, and you'll get through it. But by listening to spirit earlier, it doesn't have to be as rough.
And you know, in saying all of this, you can also stay where you are and get through it. And just stay at the consciousness, because like in the last video of the Ascension Tools, session 1, we said that some people just stay within a range all of their life. But you can move so fast with willingness. You can move so fast by accepting change. You can move so fast by letting go of attachment to everything. Take that in for a second. What does everything mean? Everything. I'm talking everything. You know, this is not just letting go of attachment to material items. No. people, your body, how you look, your precious items, anything and everything, the way that you do things, anything and everything. It has to be a letting go of attachment on the highest level for you to move through. And I mean, I'm talking, higher range now, but this is the key area. This is the key to unlocking the 550 and breaking through into that next phase. And if you don't do it, you're going to stay in the guru complex 550 or under, and there's going to be a little bit of an energy of, oh, this is my world, the world does this to me. But there's still going to be a little bit of just a touch of victim in there.
Yeah, but if your spirit has a roadmap for you and it's well beyond the guru complex, you will be brought there. Be honest with yourself, so deeply honest with everything that is attached to your identity, who you feel you are, who others would say you are if they filled out a little questionnaire. Oh, who is John? Or who is Jody? Who are these people? And you'd get all these answers and you'd make a little book. This is who I am. All of that is often what you need to look into very, 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 very deeply and be willing to surrender it all. Because who you are is a spirit in a vessel, in an earthly incarnation, who is multidimensional and immortal, everlasting. So it's very different than what your, guru complex and your mastery and your identity has taught you to be. In this category, like we said, a lot of people get stuck. But us telling you this now is potentially going to invite a lot of you guys to start moving through this layer, start moving through it. It doesn't have to take a long time. You can move a category per year, some of you guys. You can move through this fast, but it will be your spirit leading the charge. So always follow your spirit and don't make it a mental game. Don't make it a mental game. I got to go through these categories. I got to raise in consciousness. Oh, great, I got to get to the next category. It's fine to feel driven forward, but let it be spirit-driven, heart-driven, soul-driven.
And to allow it to be spirit-driven, you need to work very consciously or be very consciously with your personality. And this is where in our sessions we say to our clients, you need to reparent yourself. Because you've got the words from your parents in there, you've got the words from society telling you this is how you succeed, this is who you are as a person, blah 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 blah. You need to wipe that out. And a lot of people at 550 have done a lot of healing on themselves, and so using the tools to be able to work with the personality, basically, so that the personality is willing, as if you've seen the previous video with the Ascension Consciousness reading, it's all about willingness and the personality, really coming into harmony with the whole picture of this mission, with the whole picture of your journey. So it's like, okay, you kind of want to talk to your personality. It's the reparenting, it's the talking to. You're safe. You're safe. Personality, you're safe, I'm here with you. We both in the end want the exact same thing. We want the same thing. We want to feel joy in our hearts, we want to expand, we want to be safe and loved. Spirit has the roadmap. Personality, listen to spirit rather than listening to the external world of 3D telling personality how to do it. And so the personality then can calm down. It's like, oh, okay. And then can you feel the willingness just starts to open up? Because that's the key to all of this as well, is just upping the willingness. Where am I not willing? Where am I not willing to break through this? Where am I not willing to let go of attachment to this? Seriously, if there's attachment to items, really look into it. Why does my personality not feel safe to let go of this? To let go of this job, to let go of this reputation, to let go of these friends, to let go of this family, to let go of these items in my home because it's been in the family for generations, or it's so expensive, or I've had it all my life, so I need to hold on to it. Where is the attachment?
And next one I'll just add on is, next to healing, like we said, healing and freedom, the next level of that is managing your energy. Learning to manage your energy. your own energy bodies, the space you're in, the room you're in, working with temples and chambers, managing your field, making sure the energy leakages in your field get less and less. And this is where this starts, in this category, because often when everything feels like it's breaking down, you have to figure out how and what comes next. It's like after a forest fire, you know, the plants start growing and everything starts bubbling up again, and that's where your energy management starts the next level. So it's beyond your healing of your physical and emotional and mental energy bodies. The next level is managing your energy field, and the mastery of that will grow over these next categories.
Yeah. And as we've got on the document, you know, death of certain attachments, a new word that I've brought in, it's called deathing. You know, we celebrate birthing, and what about deathing? You know, the death of a phase. You know, celebrate it, celebrate that time, and it's a deathing. It's an ending, and then the new beginning comes. There's no reason why endings of even relationships or situation, it can be a joy and a celebration. So really embracing the letting go and the deathing of situations.
Yeah. Trust.
Yeah,
faith,
that's what I was just going to...
letting go,
yeah.
trust, faith, letting go, trust, faith, surrender, letting go. That's going to be
the key.
Running through these next categories, trust, faith, letting go, and that is to get through this guru complex. You know, that's a big one.
So the level of trust needed for the phases, the next phases, is very, very high, and it's about digging deeper, and then deeper again to jump, you know, and to know that you are this high-level spiritual being, and that you will be held, even though it may feel like you're going to die, because that's the key. That's always the key when you're at that level of it being so big that you feel like you're going to die. The reason why you feel like you're going to die is because something is dying. It's an old 3D part is dying away. And so to have faith that that's okay, that it feels like a dying of some sort, a letting go of some sort, and there can be grief, and one of the areas, like Sikaal said, is energetic management. In these times of dying, other people in your life especially can come to you and tell you it's not right what you're doing. It's not right to allow the death of this relationship, allow the death of this work, allow the death of this situation, allow the death of some kind of something or other. And so that's when you can be very deeply influenced by other thoughts, other people's thoughts, telepathy, you know, empathy. It's all very, very strong in the field around this time, and a lot of people stay in the 550 because of that as well. And so really doing a lot of energy management, staying in your center and finding a place where you can either create sacred space so you don't have to hear other people's thoughts, words, intentions, negative ways of trying to hold you back, or just really stay very powerfully strong within yourself in this, and find ways of not hearing their thoughts and feeling their emotions about how you feel, because you know you can be feeling their grief about it. You don't need to do that. You can actually go through a process where most people would be grieving for weeks, months, or years, but you have your small grief moment about it, but it can actually shift into joy and celebration because you've just let it flow through. Energy in motion, it's emotion, let it flow through. Don't let it hold in here, stuck, you know. And just one more thing about that, you know, with the solar plexus, there's antennas coming out of your solar plexus, and that's the emotions, feeling into other people's emotions, just really making sure that you're not feeling other people's emotions. And I'll go into that in another video. And also telepathy as well. You can switch certain frequencies off from people, like a radio station. So if you feel hearing other people's thoughts, or you think it's your own thoughts but they're negative, just check. And if it's not yours, switch that frequency off. Just intention-wise, I close that frequency off to myself. You'll be very surprised. All of a sudden, you'll have calm in your head. It's very beautiful. And the same with the emotions. I close my feeling center, what we call feeling center, to those people. Because if you're feeling someone else's grief because you've left them, or even they've left you, but you're feeling all of their entanglements with you, there's no need for you to feel their emotion and yours. You can move through it much faster by doing that. So that's just another little tip there. So the next category is 600 to 700. There's no extreme particular reason why we picked these numbers. It just kind of worked with the bandwidth that we've worked out. Freedom becomes a necessity because once you're hitting the sort of the past the 550 into 600, it really becomes being driven so much more from spirit than from the outside world, and so you start to realize what freedom you can have on a much higher level than just the general time freedom or whatever. It's really no more wanting the control as much, and it gets more and more as you go up. But this one, it's really starting to look at, okay, I just can't do this job anymore, or I just can't have my kids at school anymore. I'm just noticing the kids are just aren't coping. I can't be around the school anymore. It freaks me out. My energy gets all you get to a level where you are on that razor's edge, and when you just get off it a little bit, it's just so uncomfortable. And so it's your spirit saying, hey, it's not your truth anymore. It's not where you fit, because the frequencies are just not matching up. So it's time to really look at that.
And after that process of breaking, whether it's voluntarily or it has happened to you via spirit, which is in the end voluntarily as well, that's when you really start to notice the first split between third density and fourth density. Now, you guys know we're moving into fourth density, Gaia's moving into fourth density, and so this is where that scale fits in as well. And this is where the first real break away from third density thinking starts to happen. You start to disconnect from the things that are important in third density and start to create and realize your own freedom and your own spirit-driven life, disconnecting from normal ways of society, maybe eco-living, homeschooling of kids, your food journey starts to change. Maybe you're going to be more interested in vegetarian or vegan or even beyond that. That's all the type of stuff you're going to be looking for. Your energy management is going to draw more and more of your attention. Why? Because more and more of your higher abilities are coming in. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean they can't activate and be open earlier, but more and more will open up more intensely. You're going to get more sensitive. You're going to get more input from spirit. So your energy management is going to be needing to be of a higher and higher level as you move on. Your divine union energies are going to be increasing as well, and your focus on that as well.
Yeah. The divine union really kicks in around this time. The masculine doing energy is very entangled with 3D, and we have a very patriarchal society, and you see it right through history. And now is the time for the feminine to empower, the Mother Gaia, the women on this earth, the energy of nurturing. It's what's missing in society, and this is not a feminist frequency that I'm talking of. I'm talking about the fullness of spiritual femininity in this world. The leaders of this world need to be in divine union of masculine and feminine, rather than driving, power, greed, achievement, just all of that. It's so masculine and it's just so out of balance, and it's time for the feminine to raise up massively, to power up, to take some charge. The feminine, I feel, is the next level of moving forward in this world, and so that is really keying in with a lot of starseeds. And it's in men, more of the younger generation are coming through, more androgynous, more divine union. You'll see a lot of kids, you're like, boy, girl, not sure, beautiful, just really bringing through that masculine and feminine energy. And I'm not saying that being extremely feminine on an external level is imbalanced, or being masculine on an external. It's really about that internal divine union, and therefore expressing it in your life in that way as well, and not allowing the masculine to tell you how to do it. There's a lot of men that are allowing more of their feminine to come through, and the feminist sort of movement has done a lot, but it's done a lot of damage as well, and so it's kind of made women feel like they have to be more masculine, and so it's really finding that absolute balance between the two.
It's the core of the difference between third density and fourth density. Third density is very driven by old school models of doing and achieving, which is very masculine energy.
Yeah.
And yes, you need that empowerment as well.
Yes, that's
However,
necessary.
when you go to fourth density, divine union is the new norm, which means as a male, you can't not acknowledge your feminine qualities, your caring, your nurturing, your love, your
holding
embrace
space.
and holding space and all that. And as a female, you can't ignore all of the doing and of the masculine. So you'll find a lot more flowing together, you know, within relationships, within families, and particularly within yourself. So do not be afraid of a deeper divine union as you move through these next three categories.
Absolutely.
Because that's how fourth density living is going to be. Balanced individuals, the angels, the archangels, all of them live in divine union. And yes, an Archangel Michael expresses more in a masculine way, and a Mother Mary or Mary Magdalene or Isis or Kuan Yin express more in a feminine way. But they all hold empowerment in their masculine and feminine energies. And that's the key, to let go of these old ideas of what it is to be masculine, feminine, male, female, because no matter what body you've chosen, you will be invited by Spirit to master and empower yourself in both masculine and feminine energies.
Yes, and I'd just like to add that it includes, for feminine, often the loving kind of energy, and the masculine, the light. And so for women who are very feminine and very loving, they need to ground more light quotient, and that can assist you in powering up your masculine power, because a lot of the women on this earth that are starseeds, that are, you know, the spiritual ones that are moving forward to become leaders in this world, to lead this world into fourth density, to lead this world into synchronicity, into harmony, into true loving kindness and empowerment. It's very important for the women to have their masculine light. And I'm not talking, you know, patriarchal sort of masculine. I'm talking just the true light that comes through, that true power.
Because you need both in your mission.
Very much, yeah. Very much. But yeah, I really just hold on to that very important thought that the feminine is it's a really big next phase for Earth.
Because that's the shift.
Yep.
To get to fourth density is a deeper embodiment, allowance of the feminine energies.
Who am I? Who am I? Like, you can drive, or you can just go, I am. That's the feminine being, I am. That's the divine union of being and doing just by being who you are. Something I wanted to touch on was the simplification in life. Just really, you won't be able to stand certain things in your life, or you don't even realize it until you get rid of it, or
decluttering, simplifying, we love it.
Yeah, so really look into that area, get rid of stuff. Go through old photos, maybe take photos off the wall, because they kind of take you back to past memories, and you key into it's not who you are anymore, 10, 20 years ago, even 5 years ago, you're a very different person right now. Your frequency would be much higher. It can key you back into old parts of who you are, and it's not always necessary to do that. So be careful of your attachment to who you were, who your children were, who your friends were.
Yep.
Maybe even certificates.
Everything that anchors you to an identity of being, because you are always in flux, you are an ever-changing spirit, but you have an energetic signature. But don't get attached to stuff and people and places. Be in the now. And also get rid of old emotions. You don't need them anymore.
Yes.
Get rid of old thoughts and belief patterns and how you got to where you are now. And that's all guru complex. So start to let go of that. And you'll start to notice you'll live a more simple life. And it doesn't mean a life where you don't have your needs met, not at all, but your needs are going to get more simple too. Everything is going to be less cluttered. Why? Because your energetic field is going to resonate at a higher frequency where things are more simple. And it doesn't have to be all these different elements, and things start to feel freer, more open, decluttered. So do not be afraid of decluttering and simplification. it will be a big part of this category.
Absolutely.
And moving forward.
Yeah, and I just want to add decluttering of stories. Get rid of your stories.
Yes.
Going into your stories. It's the same as looking at photos. Oh, la. Story. Just get rid of, declutter your stories. If you find yourself talking about old stories, you might want to write that down for a memory to tap on, do some EFT tapping, or do whatever tools you have to get rid of the story or the attachment to the story. It's okay to maybe, go into remembering certain situations, but if there's any attachment, you need to really comb through and let go of any attachment to those.
And in this period, this is where your mission is going to kick in more deeply.
Yep.
And most of you guys here listening will have a mission to serve humanity, to help Gaia in her ascension process, help the world move into this fourth density model. So this is going to kick in now, especially in the 600 to 700 bandwidth. You're going to want to do more of that rather than more of the old 9-to-5 type jobs just to pay your mortgage and just to get your food. And it's going to change that model. If it wasn't already before, this is where those urges from spirit are going to be stronger and stronger and stronger. And then it's your choice to listen. We advise, yes, listen.
Yes, listen. So it's really the service to others just becomes so strong in your mission, and it's not about, again, self-sacrifice. It's literally, it meets up with what you love to do. It marries with what you love, and
Your
so
excitement.
you do not feel that it takes your energy. It does not feel that I'm on my mission, I will do this for the world. No, it's like, I need to do this. This feels so good. I've got to do this. Yes, that's how it is. That's service to others.
And it's the excitement of it. That's just what you want to do. Like, we want to do this video. Like, we want to tell you guys about this. That's part of our mission.
Yes.
It's not like,
otherwise my guides wouldn't shut up about it.
No, and it's not, and it doesn't mean you don't have to move through different layers of organizing things and getting ready for things and doing things. You still got to do that type of stuff, but you're driven by your heart and your spirit and your soul and your excitement and your passion. Those are the things to look for. Okay. Next category.
Yeah, did we get? All right, so on to 700 to 900.
700 to 900. This is the almost final category. Very exciting.
Yeah, so as Sikaal said, the 600 to 700, you pretty much you're on your mission, and you can't really do anything other than that, because it just doesn't feel right anymore. And to get through the 700 zone, we find people are just really needing to let go of 3D to such a deep level, and that's why we call it a threshold. That's why we call it like a little bit of a graduation, a gateway, because it really is, as you walk through it, it's like a lot of things just fall away. And you can really move into that new world. And we feel that around the 700 is where your consciousness has grown up to enough of a level that you will move into fourth density when the ascension process happens, when the wave Mother Earth moves into the certain part of the solar system where the energy is so high that we move from third density into fourth density, into the higher dimension of fifth dimension energy. So if you're not at that 700 at that time, in our experience and feeling at this point in time, it has told us, we have the guidance, and you only listen to yourself. This is our opinion. This is what has come through us. 700, you're in. You're moving into the fourth density. Below that, we're not sure on dispensations for starseeds. Some will get that, and so they may move through no matter what, but some may say stuck. And when we say stuck, they are in the karmic cycle and need to do third density again, continue in the cycle. So,
and these scenarios, we're not here saying we know how it's going to unfold. We don't. We keep following our spirit, our testing, our guidance, our intuitive muscle testing, and we tell it how it is. However, this storyline has remained the same. we feel there's going to be some sort of differentiating between third density and fourth density consciousness. We feel 700 on this particular scale is a level where your consciousness is at a frequency where you're ready for this fourth density world. And if your guidance is different, that's okay by us. We're presenting to you a way that our guidance is coming through us. So, feel into that. We don't know how it's going to unfold. We don't know when Ascension will be. It could be in 2018. It could be up to 2023, and that may move again. So we sort of have this idea based on what we've collected and gathered and listened to, that it's somewhere between 2018 and 2023. However, we are in a very relaxed position about that as well, because that can change. As we know, everything changes. So it's not, if it hasn't happened by that date, something's wrong or our information is wrong. No, everything is always in flux. It depends on the collective consciousness. It depends on millions or billions of people and souls making decisions, and all of that working together with the movements of Gaia and the solar system within our galaxy and the galaxy within the universe as well. So there's so many factors that we can't factor in, and we've all got blindfolds on. So this is our opinion at the moment. We keep testing it. If it changes, we will let you know. But at this stage, we feel 700 is around that threshold where you're going to be moving into this fourth density realm, because that's when you're energetically ready for it. Before that, you're not ready for it.
And we've had a lot of confirmation with listening to the stories and the journey that Corey Good has gone on Cosmic Disclosure. If you're connected with Gaia.com, the TV, it's a little bit like a metaphysical Netflix. There's some really good information there. Some of it's pretty intense, but it's good to work through and look at. And, the connection with the law of one, it's all very much in alignment with how we've seen things and what comes through us as well. And the Sphere Being Alliance, who is supporting what Corey Good is going through, and a lot of us in our journeys, is really connecting with many starseeds and supporting many starseeds, as well as, the Galactic Federation and all of our Ascension councils. There's just a lot of information being pumped through, the ones that are willing, the ones that are anchoring their presences, the starseeds that are awakening to a level. So all of the information coming in, there's confirmations happening everywhere. So like Sikaal said, the next 1 to 5 years, it's big. And that's why we keep saying the time is now, and at the same time letting go of attachment, because whatever it is, it is. However, it's such a key time to just do what you need to do.
And your spirit knows your roadmap. So if you're willing to listen to spirit to the next degree, your spirit will bring you where you need to go. So if you feel stress around, oh my God, what if I'm not ready? What if I need to raise my consciousness really, really fast? I need to do tapping 24 hours, 7 days a week. Oh my God, I need to clear everything. Oh my God, I just need to reset my life. Relax, because your spirit has got it covered. All you need to do is go within and listen. Let go of the rest. Let go of this 700 number. It is not for you to get stressed about. It is merely for you to know, that's interesting. That's what's happening. Okay, cool. Well, where do I feel I am based on all the description of these things? Do I do this type of stuff in my life? Do I notice the people around me do? And then you'll notice, well, I'm maybe in the 600 to 700 category, or I'm working my way through the guru complex now, or I've moved into that 700 to 900 zone. You can feel it. Yeah. You can know it, follow your guidance, do some testing in whatever way. You can tune into a session with us if you need extra information. There's a lot of ways to get your information. But the main thing is not to get stressed about a timeline, because the moment you get stressed, you actually lock up. So relax and keep doing your clearing. Follow your guidance, follow your excitement, and know that your spirit has you covered. If you're meant to move on to fourth density, you will. But you won't if you don't listen. Because then spirit will have to start forcing things upon you, especially if you still need to break through this guru complex. So trust and allow it all to flow. It's ever changing, but spirit will be clear with you. If you listen in meditation, etc., you've got a good idea of how to do this.
Yeah, meditation, I was going to say that too. So much information over the last while, just you know, sitting in nature and doing your meditation, you can be really connected in with the frequency of Mother Gaia, and really allow your presence to speak to you. You know, sit in the God Presence Communion Temple and ask your presence to speak with you. Ask the masters to speak with you. Ask for the information to come through of your next steps and that type of thing, and really listen, because now is the time. And I say that with not with attachment but with excitement, because that is where it's most fulfilling. And that's the 700 to 900. You need to be doing what is most fulfilling to you, because you're fulfilled because you're on mission. Yeah. It's just the way that it is. And usually, from what we've seen, well, always, you've got to let go of people. Yeah. You've got to let go of situations. You've got to let go of stuff. You've got to let go of social situations that are not in alignment with your bandwidth. You can stay where you're at, and you can stay connected to certain people, but you'll just stay, and that's fine too, and that really is okay. It depends what you're really wanting to do.
And it's important to understand that this letting go may be for now. It's just a split in the river. It doesn't mean forever. It doesn't mean things don't come around and circle back.
And
because
you're
that's
always
how,
connected.
That's how it always happens. And on a soul and spirit level, you're always connected anyway. But you may notice your socializing behavior changes. You may want to go to less events. You may want to spend more time eternally, or only with certain people and certain family and certain friends. That's very, very, very normal. All of the other things are going to be heightened. Your food journey is going to be heightened. Choose more carefully there, more wisely in higher frequency ranges. You're going to get more of your gifts open up. There's going to be more decluttering. You're going to be asked to do higher levels of energy management. Why? Because as you raise, there's going to be more energies around you that you need to keep clear. You need to keep your frequency clear. So all of this type of stuff, more of your divine union is going to come in. You're going to be asked to look at masculine wounds and feminine wounds, to heal, to let go of. So more and more of your energy bodies will be available to you. More and more of spirit will come in for you. You'll start opening up more and more of the portals, connecting you to your multidimensional
light
self,
portals,
to your spirit, your light portals. You'll open up fourth density gateways. We have a meditation about fourth density gateways. You know, energy management, learn and master in the clearing of invasive energies. There's so many of those meditations available to you guys. And so this is all in this category. Everything, life gets more simple, but more complex in the fact that it's ever changing and moving, and you're just asked to move in the moment, day to day with spirit. And don't be afraid to let go. Don't be afraid to understand that things are changing. And don't have your identity start being connected again with new versions of you, because it's ever changing. And spirit will strip it away from you again, because you don't need that identity attachment. And more who you'll start to become is the energetic signature of your spirit, of your soul, working harmoniously with your personality and your lower energy bodies. So don't get rid of your personality. Your personality and your spirit work together, because your spirit can't do anything here without your personality, and your personality can't do the mission without spirit. So they need to work together. And there's a meditation about that as well. So in this category as well, what you'll start to notice is that time and space and time and dimensionality, dream state, reality start to all merge and flux and flow. Why? Because you have more access to your multidimensionality. So you start to realize that you are here in the now in this earthly incarnation, but you start to have access to more of your spirit, more of your soul extensions, more realms, more worlds, and so
gifts,
that all,
mastery.
and the gifts and the mastery, and so that all starts to work together. And so more and more you work with your spirit on mission, and you really, really want to help others and serve, because that's what gives you the greatest pleasure. That's what fulfills you. Not having a lot or being a lot. It's about serving, but not serving in a sacrificial way, but serving in a way that really ignites your excitement. Like, oh, that is so cool. Why? Because it's who you are and who you always wanted to be in this earthly incarnation. Listening to spirit and following and embodying and embracing and sharing your energetic signature.
So because there's been so much letting go in this phase of the 700 to you know, the 700 to 800, you really need to be letting go of even people that you feel that you love them so much, but the frequency is just not meeting up. It's another very painful, seemingly painful situation, and so to really witness that and look at where are the attachments and why are you still holding on, because that can hold you back from moving to the next level of frequency. That may sound cold, it's not. It's you staying on mission. It's you staying on mission. And so really finding that place where you can close your feeling center to certain people. That's your solar plexus, where we have antennas to, you know, the emotional states of others. That's your empathy comes in through that area. And so it's a little bit like a radio switching off certain frequencies from other people. You can be overwhelmed in grief from a relationship that you've either, you know, had a separation from, or a friendship, or whatever it is. You can be just overwhelmed in grief, but it's not yours. And if you just switch off that frequency from your solar plexus, your feeling center, you will literally instantly stop feeling grief. Instantly. And so yes, you could have been most of your life feeling other people's emotions, thinking that they're yours. And so this is another little tip, another tool that you can use to have mastery over your own emotions, especially in this 700 to 900 phase, because it can help you really feel into, okay, is this mine, is this theirs? Okay, stay on path, stay on mission. The other thing is this telepathy, you know, the third eye, you're another antenna, feeling people's thought forms, feeling their thoughts, even thinking they might be yours, or you're thinking of someone, oh, I need to call them, I need to connect with them. Do you, or are they pulling at you? Is there a magnetic pull from them because they need your energy, or they want to connect with you so they feel better about themselves? Really key into what is in the highest in this moment. Is it, yes, you can love them, you know, big time, like love them, they're your soul family. But at this time, is it in the highest? Rather than being controlled, yep, I've got to, you know, connect with this person because I thought about them and I love them. Or is it really right now what I need to be doing? So I just wanted to mention that as well. So again, you can switch off the frequency to other people's thought forms. It does not mean you're closing your third eye or your, you know, your gifts in that way. It's like one radio station. You're not turning off the radio. You can get all the music you want from that radio. Just that radio station's not really suiting you right now. It's not working for you. So cleaning out a lot of stuff. Synchronicity starts to flow in. Harmony, joy, peace, grace, bliss. It starts to flow in, and it's not to say that they are always there. It means that it's the waves. They come in, and then you have the initiation of fate to move to the next level.
And it's the underlyingness of your life becomes much more in immediate synchronicity and harmony and peace and joy. Your health, you know, you're very healthy physically, mentally, emotionally. All of that starts to incorporate with you being on mission. But it involves some hard decisions around people, around events, around, you know, really honoring your mission, and really keep letting go of any connections to identity or your success or how well you're doing or anything like that. So Spirit is going to keep you on track to keep going and to keep disconnecting.
Yeah.
So I think that's good for that category. Yeah. So going to the very last category, which is 900 to 1000. So, you know, it keeps going. It keeps being about you letting go and embodying more and more and more of your spirit, increasing your love and light quotient, especially your light quotient, embodying more and more of your truth, your wisdom, more of your mission, anchoring deeper to Gaia, being with Gaia, serving through your mission, allowing yourself to be creative, allowing yourself to express your love and your light quotient. Very important in this phase.
It's the time of throwing your arms up and surrendering to Spirit. It's the time of saying to Spirit, I'm ready. Yeah. It's the time of your personality really having such high willingness that mission is all to the personality, to the ego. Even the ego wants it. It's just absolute harmony with the mission. And so what does it take to get to that?
Yeah, and personality and spirit become one.
Infused.
Those people, circumstances, and events in your life are one and all connected to your mission. And it sounds very one-focused, your mission, but you must understand your mission can be so broad with so many facets that it will always be exciting. It will be
organic.
The one thing that will fulfill you most in your earthly incarnation. Nothing will ever fulfill you more, because this is why you are here. And so more harmony, synchronicity, bliss, joy will occur. It's all about you keep listening to your internal spirit, raising your level of energy management even further, so that influences in your field are less and less, and you remain strong in your pillar, you remain strong in your center, you remain strong and willing to make the hard decisions and the hard calls, because it's not always easy. It's not always like, oh, it's smooth sailing. Sometimes you got to make the hard calls, and you got to do things to keep in line with what your spirit is asking of you.
Very hard.
But it will always, always bring you more love, more light,
freedom,
more of everything that you want. And that includes abundance in all ways, for whatever suits your mission.
Yes.
You know, and all of the things, your abilities open up. You have more connection to your soul family, to the teams to help you. You can astral travel more cleanly, more powerfully. You're deeply grounded to Gaia. You're with Gaia. You're going to, you know, in this category, as you move through into this, these are the teachers and the leaders of the new fourth density Earth. These are the ones that are going to help the ones from 700 and up move forward and understand that it's about more letting go, more surrendering, less connection to who you are, who others think you are. No matter how much other people think they know who you are, disconnect from who you think you are or who others are thinking that you are, because it's always about being in the present, being in the now, being with the guidance from spirit, being with your heart and your soul in sync with Gaia and your highest potential timeline.
The initiation in this one is to have so much faith and so much trust that you're willing to let go of anything and anyone. Yeah. And I'm talking anyone, you know. It's taking me many lifetimes to meet Sikaal again. You know, we have met in this lifetime after a really long time away from each other, and you know, I even need to be willing to let go of Sikaal. I need to be willing to let go of my children. That's what it takes. It doesn't mean you let go of them.
Or that you will have to.
Or that you will have to. It means that that's what it takes.
Being in a position
of full trust.
And that is trust in spirit, trust in the universe, trust that you're supported by Gaia, by all your spirit, by your support teams, because all is in alignment, not to bring you grief or to bring you to a place of unhappiness. No, to bring you to the other side of that. But it is about trust, and then moving through and letting go of any fears that things will be taken away from you or that it will get hard. Because some days are hard and other days are amazing and easy. But your life, as you raise in frequency and you're more on mission and more aligned to your spirit, is going to get more and more powerful, more and more amazing, more and more in synchronicity. And you are going to have such a fulfilled journey. And that's really what you're here to do. That's really what you're here to do. Yeah. And that's what this final category is going to ask of you. It's going to be asked of you to become all and with the universe and with Gaia and with others, while maintaining the strong light of your unique energetic signature. And that may sound fluffy, but it's all but. It's love and light quotient to the max. Yeah. That's when you start to anchor 100% of your love and 100% of your light,
Yes.
and your inner child energy, so you keep playing and having fun, and that involved as well. It's not all about work on the mission. I gotta work on the mission. No, because the mission is also relaxing, connecting with nature, learning more about everything around you, being that inner child. It's about all of it. It's about becoming the highest version of you
Yes.
can be, living your highest potential timeline, and it's all up to you. How much are you going to trust, surrender, and let go, and be willing to listen to your spirit?
Yes.
That sums up this final category.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really, this is the time of creating so much space that spirit can just come in and move in. Just move in. And so it's a soul-infused personality. It is spirit walking this earth. Yeah. You know, so in moving into fourth density, once the ascension process has happened, you know, we're going to be living in fourth density. And so the ones that have moved through, you know, probably 850 to 1,000, they're going to be the ones that'll be the new leaders in the new reality. And when I say leaders, it's leaders in thought, leaders in feeling,
in direction, not leaders in the old third density thought of leaders.
Control and power and all of that type of thing.
More about guidance and direction.
Yes, yeah, and working in group consciousness rather than I'm the leader, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
You know, follow me, I'm the guru. It's not going to be that at all. It's literally, it's going to be that true harmonious group consciousness.
Group consciousness that comes out of the synchronicity of each and every one of the individuals following their mission, listening to their spirit, and following their guidance, because then all the puzzle pieces become the puzzle.
How good is that?
And that is amazing and so very different to third density life.
Yes.
You know, I feel complete with that information on this last category. So again, guys, this scale is available as a PDF on the website. Download it, use it, read through all these points again, and try to see and feel where you are. You can get an Ascension Consciousness reading, as we said in the last video, if you want to know what level you're at according to our testing.
Yeah, we've made it really affordable because, I mean, well, I was actually given the amount. We didn't choose it. I was told. So it's really affordable. We all of our work, we want to be attainable for everybody. Yeah. You know, our sessions aren't attainable for everybody because we love what we do and we need people to be at a certain level of willingness. That's the only thing, and that's not a condition. That's just how it is, and that's how we're doing our mission. That's how we are told to do our mission. So we follow spirit. That's all there is to it, and that's what your spirit's asking of you if you've actually watched to the end of this video. So deepest blessings. We love you. We know you. We are all connected. We're connected to everybody that we let go of. We love everybody that we have been connected to. We will be connected to. It's not about separation. It's all about remembering that the spirit that is here is the spirit that is there, is the spirit that was in the past. That's what it is. And you can't really remember that if there's all these old things. And so that's the thing. Again, we repeat it. You surrender, you let go, you trust. And you just keep flowing. And as Sikaal said so beautifully earlier, it's change. Embrace the change. Embrace the change. Oh, okay, this is the new day. Today there's a storm. Tomorrow the flowers are blooming. The next day the waters are flowing through. The next day the sun is shining and we're, you know, bouncing. You know, just really, it's an organic process, and to listen and to flow and do not ignore signs. You know, it's really time to listen. It's not time to push through old ways.
And once you get familiar with the basics of these categories and know generally where you're at, general ballpark, or maybe exactly where you're at, you can start using that to assess different situations in your life, people, jobs, even food. And
movies.
Even movies. You start to understand, oh, this movie won't raise my frequency, or it won't be high enough for me and it'll make me feel really yucky in my lower spectrum of emotions, I choose not to do that. I choose not to go to this event. I choose not to go to that social occasion. I choose not to do this, or I choose to do that because it serves me. And you'll learn to understand how valuable a tool this is. This is at least what we found, and we use it every single day, all the time. So see how that sits with you. But we are so happy that we've been able to share this with you. Again, print out the PDF, view it online whenever you want. It's about the information and the understanding that there are certain levels to move through, and that this is about frequency growth.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Many blessings, and we'll see you in the next session of this series. Thank you.
Thank you.